Hello everyone and welcome to today's video in which I am going to reveal the secrets of the digital nomads here in Barcelona. I am going to reveal how the digital nomads here in Barcelona earn their money online, how did they get to where they are today, and what kind of advice do they have for people who want to become digital nomads. That and more will be discussed in this video, so let's dive right into this. Hello everyone, I am very excited to introduce to you Jennifer, which is my next guest. She has a very inspiring story and I was very excited when I heard it first. And Jennifer, maybe you can introduce yourself a little bit and tell us what is it that you do.
Sure. So my name is Jenny. I'm from Vienna, the capital of Austria. I have my own business. I do web design for female entrepreneurs.
Have you always been a web designer, or what did you study? What did you do before becoming a digital nomad?
I used to work in the travel industry for many years. So yeah, I was always organizing the most beautiful trips for my clients. That was never enough for me.
You wanted to do the trips yourself.
True. It was not enough to do it only from the working desk or from the office. And yeah, 25 days a year off, it was not enough.
How did you start to become a web designer then? What did you do?
In 2019, my journey started when I quit my job, my 9-to-5 job. I booked a one-way trip. I threw myself in the cold water. I started as a virtual assistant, but I felt like that was not the right path for me. So I did a course, a complex marketing course about web design, newsletter marketing, social media marketing, like everything online marketing related. And web design was the most interesting part for me.
I actually love how you started. So you just quit your job, you booked a one-way ticket, and you didn't have a job. You weren't a digital nomad at that moment. You were without work basically, and then out of that situation you were looking for something to do for your passion, right? How was that for you? Like, wasn't it scary to step into the cold water?
Well, I just did it. I don't know, it was a dream for like many years. I just felt like now is the moment. I need to do it, whatever it takes. I will quit my job. I'm not happy. I just jumped and I had the trust that something will come. And if not, I could go back to any job in Vienna.
I think that is a huge privilege that we actually have here in Europe, because the worst thing that can happen to you is, well, you go back to your old life, right?
That's it.
When did you get your first clients? Was it hard for you to find your first client?
Yeah, I struggled a lot in the beginning. I also did some kind of internships, and this was a hard lesson for me to learn. I worked a lot, but I didn't earn anything, so I would not recommend this to do. Your time is worth it. So I struggled a lot in the beginning to find my first clients, but there was a point where it just started.
I guess the first step is always the hardest one. So
Absolutely.
once you get into it, it flows, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. But what would you say is the best thing about the digital nomad life?
For me, I can decide where I want to wake up next week. This is so much freedom for me, and this was always my dream. And also the flexibility I have right now. I love the flexibility and the freedom.
And what would be the downside?
When I think about the beginning, of course, the financial instability. You never know how much you earn the next month or how the next month's going to be.
Were there moments where you were thinking about quitting this and going back to your old life?
There were some thoughts, yeah, of course, to have the security again. But this was my biggest dream and I didn't want to give up on that. Never, never, no.
Would you say that Barcelona is a good city for digital nomads?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah. I mean, you have the beaches, you have mostly warm weather and sun. I found this amazing co-working space where we are right now. There are a lot of activities, a lot of international people. There's so much going on in the city.
Would you ever go back to a 9-to-5 job?
No.
Never.
Never.
Not an
no.
option. Is there anything you miss about it, maybe?
I mean, what I missed was the colleagues, of course. Exchanging some days, just talking or asking someone or something. But no, I cannot even imagine it, to go back one day.
Is there any advice for people who want to start their own business?
I would say just do it. People are dreaming, people are talking about if that day comes and this happens and this, then I will do that and that. I mean, what happens if this day never comes? I hope that everyone fulfill his dreams. So yeah, just do it.
Jenny, thank you so much for your time for this interview, for your
Thank you.
insights also. Just in case you guys need a web designer, you now know whom to contact. I will leave her Instagram in the description below. It was really nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I am very excited to present you my guest a little bit. I have Instagram stalked him a little bit and I am very curious to hear more about what he's doing, because from what I saw on his profile, he's doing a job that I've so far only heard about in a movie, and I wasn't expecting to find someone who would do something like that for this interview, so I'm very excited to hear this story. This is Boris. He has a very interesting story to share. Boris, maybe you want to introduce yourself a little bit. Would you like to tell us where are you from and how long are you here in Barcelona?
Hey guys, so I'm from France. I have some Italian roots and this is my second month living in this never-ending summer city that is Barcelona.
What are you doing as a digital nomad? How do you earn your money?
I'm a dating coach for men since like a bit more than a year. So I make money online, owning my own business.
What is it exactly what you're doing? Because when I first saw that you are a dating coach, I was thinking about the movie The Date Doctor. And I was thinking about that. Can I imagine it like that, or what is it what you do?
Typically, I work with guys who don't have the dating life they dream of or they deserve. They have a lot of limiting beliefs, kind of like weak mindset. They don't know how to communicate and convey themselves in a genuine and seductive way. It's helping them over like multiple months to, firstly convey themselves in a more authentic way. Back to, as our grandparents were doing like, 30 years ago when everything was more simple, more natural, really like bringing back people with the heart at the right place to connect genuinely in the simplest manner possible.
How did you get to where you are today? How did you start this career? What was your path?
Before that, I was a web designer for a corporate company in Paris, in the business area. I did that for like 6 years. Then at some point, I just started to listen to this little voice in my head that was telling me that I was made for more. I was made to have a bigger of an impact on people. I didn't read a lot of psychology books nor study psychology. I'd never been to college. So I started to think differently. I joined the community of psychologists on YouTube who was applying his psychology knowledge to the field of seduction and creativity and emotional intelligence, and I started to literally coach guys in the field, starting to meet people organically. And after like 8 months, I was like, damn, like this is fulfilling. I'm changing like even 5% of people's life. I'm helping them like having like breakthroughs and eventually epiphanies or whatnot.
So basically you come from a whole different area and then you kind of taught yourself the knowledge you have today. And you also applied it in real life, and that is what you're making a full-time income out of this today, right?
Yeah. So it took time. Obviously, I invested in myself. I paid a business team, to teach me business and marketing and lead generation and sales, because I didn't know what I didn't know, right? So I was a complete newbie, let's say, and I didn't know anything about business. What's the actual tools to create your own business and make your own money online? So yeah, it was a pretty long process. You have to shift your mindset. You have to listen to, mentors and basically people who are where you want to be, and then eventually having results if and only if you are consistent.
Maybe you can talk a little bit more about the past. How long did it take you to become a digital nomad?
In the beginning, I was still doing my 9-to-5 job. Then shortly after I invested in myself and trying to go through the coaching program, there was the pandemic. I had like the most time to like develop my business, but you can definitely have a 9-to-5 and work on your business a couple of hours a day. It's all about then, time management and priorities, discipline, obviously, more than motivation, and consistency.
What is the best about the digital nomad lifestyle?
Not having a boss that you eventually don't like or don't really resonate with. Obviously, location independence, sort of like you manage your time. You can definitely take a plane on a Wednesday afternoon and go to wherever you want on the planet. The downside is that it's very lonely. Like the road is long, the load is heavy, right? Not to quote Alex Hormozy. So you're gonna have a lot of lows. When you create a business, you're gonna see like who are your real friends, who in your family like really supports you, and you'll be surprised about that, because the moment you start thinking outside the box and you're not happy the way that people would want you to be happy, you can have some surprise. It's definitely not for everyone.
Is there any advice you want to give future digital nomads? Anything you want them to know, to be aware of if they decide to take that path you have taken?
It kind of sounds cliche, but step zero is believing in oneself. Asking for help should be the thing you should like look at. You want to value time more than money, because time is the most important resource in the world. And third is that it's about refusing to not having what you want anymore, and really like wanting to take the leap now. So not losing like much more time. Obviously as well, challenge your status quo, change the environment you have around you, make new connection, offer value to people. That's really key. Ask yourself the question if the people you have around you are healthy, happy, and support you in your goals.
All right, Boris, thank you so much for this interview. I think it was a very inspiring interview. I definitely learned a lot. I think you inspire a lot of people, and I think your journey is helpful for many people out there who might want to become digital nomads in the future. Just in case, if you need help with your dating life, you know whom to contact. I'm sure Boris is super happy to help you. So I'm going to leave you his Instagram below in the description so that you can always contact him if you want to. And yeah, thanks a lot for joining us here.
Thanks for having me.
I am now about to meet my last guest of this video. I have met her only once, but ever since that I am following her on Instagram. And to be honest, I always feel like her days have way more hours than mine, as she is handling a lot of projects at the same time. And I can't wait for her to tell us how she is handling all of these projects at the same time. We are here now with my next guest. This is Victoria. Victoria, maybe you can tell us quickly, where are you from and what do you do?
I'm Victoria from Russia. I have been here in Barcelona for like 2 years and a half, on and off. I'm an educational entrepreneur. I'm working currently on several of my projects. English school online that I'm running in Russia, a teaching training center, and also we are working here on the EdTech startup. We are trying to revolutionize the IELTS exam preparation. We are implementing artificial intelligence into exam prep, trying to make it more personalized, more effective, and simplify the process for basically IELTS test takers worldwide.
Why did you choose Barcelona? Do you feel like here maybe there's like a digital nomad community that is helpful for what you do?
Yeah, actually when I first came to Barcelona, I didn't like Barcelona at once because I was mostly paying attention to the minuses, like the noise and the smell and stuff like that. But then after 2 weeks, I started to understand like, okay, there are a lot of pluses here, and actually they outweigh the minuses so much because it's like the combination of everything. We have the mountains, we have the sea, we have the perfect international community. What's important for me is the infrastructure for entrepreneurs. We have a lot of startup kind of communities. A lot of ambitious people are attracted to Barcelona from all over the world. Perfect kind of setting to enjoy working life. And to make connections, to network.
What would you say is the biggest advantage of the digital nomad life?
I think the most important thing is the opportunity to have a lot of freedom. Basically, the freedom of choosing the location where you want to be. There are a lot of new visas that are issued to digital nomads, like in Spain, since I think this year. They have introduced this digital nomad visa. For me, it's the best kind of the lifestyle to be independent in the choices of how your day goes, because you are your own boss. You choose with who you work, where you work from, how your day looks like.
And would you say there are any downsides to the digital nomad lifestyle?
Yes, so of course sometimes it can get very lonely because like you are in one place and you are making a circle of people around you, and like you are already establishing relationships, and then you are leaving the place and you are going somewhere else, and like you start missing your friends there.
Yeah, you start all over again.
Yeah, and then you of course you all the time you miss your friends from your hometown, you miss your family.
You have always been teaching and then made this your own business.
Yeah.
How was that path?
For me, it was kind of organic because my first education is international relations, and I was trying to work for a while in the sphere. So I had a short internship in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Russia. But very quickly I understood that politics is not, especially politics in Russia, is not something where I would love to develop. Since I was a second-year student, I have always been working for myself. I just started that, and then I understood that I can do it pretty well. Like my students got super good results. It was always my passion, and I always understood that education is something that can help a lot of people to reach their goals. I understood by my own example that education is something that can help you to get from wherever background you are, from wherever place you are in life, and go where you want.
So for now, your clients that you teach, they are from Russia, but you said you are in the process of developing an application.
Yes.
And that will be basically for anybody, no matter where you come from, which language is your native language, they can use that application to learn English or to prepare for the IELTS exam.
Yeah, exactly. Right now we are working on implementing artificial intelligence into the IELTS exam preparation, which will help students to get the personalized learning path, which will be designed specifically by them, by the app itself, that will automatically generate tests for them, track their progress, give them feedback, give them the approximate band scores that they are likely to get. And of course, it will help students to prepare for the exam faster, more effectively. It will reduce costs for students because high quality exam preparation is pretty expensive. But one of our main goals is to make the education process more accessible to children and to students and to all people worldwide.
Do you have any tips for people who always feel like they don't have the time to do something? Because I feel like you are the queen of time management, basically, with all of those things going on. Do you have any tips for people who need to improve their time management?
Well, I would say that certainly it's all about our priorities. We have to understand that we can't have time for everything that we want to do. And I think this is tip number one, that you have to put priorities. We should understand that these priorities, certainly, they depend on the period of our life where we are right now. So, of course, they can change over time, they can evolve. The second thing, certainly, we have to understand our goals in life. Like for me, the thing that motivates me, I have the big goal that I want to reach in my life. I always try to understand the smaller goals that help me to reach this bigger one. And then you take this smaller goal and you try to implement part of it in your daily routine. Maybe with the third one, I would say, well, of course, people are different, but for me, it's important to try to spread it to the world. That's why I really love organizing different communities. Like here in Barcelona, recently I created the group on the meetup for people who are interested in artificial intelligence. I feel that it's beneficial for everyone to come together, share your interests, your passion, to find like-minded individuals. Sometimes it can help you to look even at your own project from a different perspective, or even to embark on new projects. This is basically how I met my business partners in one of the meetups in Dubai that I organized myself, by the way.
Nice. I'm going to leave that meetup group in the description below so that you can meet Victoria in person and also give some input if you are interested in artificial intelligence, or if you want to talk about business, make sure to check out that meetup. Do you have any further advice, anything that is key for future digital nomads? What would you tell them?
Certainly, it's important to find your place. For that, probably you have to travel for a while. And another thing, probably if you are a digital nomad, you tend to feel lonely from time to time because of the reasons that I already mentioned. So it's important to find like-minded individuals.
Well, Victoria, thank you so much for taking part in this interview.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, I personally learned a lot and I found this very interesting to hear your story. So thanks a lot for sharing this. I'm going to leave you guys her Instagram as well in the description below. Make sure to check that out as well. She also has a YouTube channel.
There will be videos in English too. So
All
the
right.
videos for people who are interested in understanding how to combine the digital nomad lifestyle with working, and also for people who are interested in taking the IELTS exam.
All right, I'm going to leave all of the informations to connect with Victoria in the description below and make sure to check that out. All right, these were all of the interviews. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you got motivated and inspired by all of these different kind of stories. I personally think that our world is getting more and more digital and also more internationalized, which means that there will also be more and more opportunities for future digital nomads. Just in case you are interested in building up an online business with YouTube, I do have a free how to YouTube guide that you can find below in the description, so make sure to check that out, as it is meant to get you started with your own YouTube channel. Also, let me know in the comments below if you like this kind of video and if you would like to see more of these kind of videos. And I am curious to learn more about you, so feel free to drop me a comment with your own story and let me know if the digital nomad lifestyle would be something you are interested in. If you like this video, I highly appreciate your support. Feel free to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel to not miss out on any further videos. In the next one, I will talk to you about a brand new opportunity for digital nomads in many countries, as there are more and more digital nomad visas that are available in various countries all over the world. And I'm going to give you all the details about the digital nomad visa here in Spain. So make sure to subscribe to not miss out on that one.